Hello and welcome to our Wayzgoose Kitsap tutorial, and I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about some ways to get your image onto the linoleum, and also how to choose the image and then how to carve it so you can get what you want once you get to the place where we're at printing. And my name is Linda and we're here in my studio, and so I just brought out some things from past years just to kind of illustrate what I want to talk about your image, and just reminding people that printing is reverse. So if you carve, a branch that goes down on the right, it's going to print on the left. If you're doing something symmetrical, you don't have to be concerned about that. But the major reason why I wanted to talk about that was because if you do text, it's really important. It's a mirror image because you want to read text from left to right. So you want to carve from right to left. So that's just really important, so you're not surprised when you get there that suddenly your print is the mirror image of what you wanted. And I have found I like to work mostly non-toxic. So what I have that I like to use on the linoleum is I get a roll of glassine paper. You can also get a roll of transfer paper. And then the linoleum is unmounted that we're gonna get. So what I do is I place carbon side down, and then I just use the blue tape to tape it. And so then I can take what I want my image to be, and then I tape it upon that. And I really like to use these Bic pens just to trace on my image to get the image to the linoleum, and then I can take all of this off and carve. And remember that what you're carving is going to be white, and what you're not carving is going to be black, because we're going to use black ink for our prints. And so like when I was talking about doing reverse, the reason why I like to use the transfer paper and the glassine paper, the tracing paper, is because, especially since I like to do text, this is really important. So if I write out the text that I want to carve, I can then reverse it and tape it down with the blue tape, because then I know that what I'm gonna do is gonna show up the way I want it. And so I'll just tape this with the blue tape. It's the blue painter's tape, so you can get that pretty much anywhere. And then I'll tape down all of the edges. And then what I said I like to do is just take a Bic pen. It doesn't even need to have ink in it. And then I just trace what I want to print. So what I'm doing here is that I'm copying the marks that I made, and so they can get onto the linoleum. And so when you're ready to start carving, kind of shows up. You can kind of see it here. That's a very old linoleum, so it's got a bunch of stuff on it. And then sometimes what I like to do then is then go over it with a Sharpie so I can see what is happening. And carving is, you're gonna give you some tools. They're called linoleum carvers, and we have speedball. And the speedball, what's great about these is the blades can be stored in the carving tool itself. So, and putting these in, if you haven't done them, can be a little tricky the first time, but it gets to be really simple. And you want that edge that is sharp to be the edge that is outer, and the smooth edge is what goes into the linoleum. So lefty-loosey, righty-tighty, I'm loosening it up. And there are two pieces inside there that I want to get this between those pieces. So I'm gonna undo it quite a bit more. Oh yeah. It was really tight. Okay. So that's really what it is these two pieces here. That's where you're gonna slip that bottom of the blade into. So it's in there, and then righty-tighty. So it's good to go. And so carving, remember, if I wanted the T to be white, I would carve out the T. And if I want like the end to be black, then that's when I would carve around that end. So I would leave my mark there. And in this sense, I'm taking the mark away that I made with the pen. And the linoleum that we're giving you is a lot newer than this old linoleum. Sometimes they can be a little hard to carve, but a great technique to warm your linoleum is an iron. You can iron your linoleum. A hairdryer also works, and the warm sun can also warm your linoleum so you can carve it more easily. And the one thing I'm going to tell you to have with you at all times are Band-Aids, because it's common when you're doing your carving, you're going to cut a digit. It will bleed a lot, but it's usually just a paper cut. So that's why never carve with your hand holding the linoleum, because that's going to get it right there. And so I try to hold it away, and so I'm carving this way. There's no right way to carve or print. This is just the way I like to do it. We're going to give you some resources to look on the internet and find some other resources for you. If you are like I am and don't like to look at the internet, this printmaking book, they just had a new edition come out. That's Bill Fick and Beth Grabowski. And so that has a lot of different kind of printmaking, but we're just going to focus on relief printmaking. So yeah, I think that kind of sums up just really quickly how to begin thinking about your image. I like what they call chatter. So I like all these little lines that you don't cut out. I like those to show up. Those to me are interesting because this process is so hand done. So I really like to focus on the hand and not try to make it look like it was a different kind of printing, because different images go for a different kind of printing better. Like if you wanted to do something with a lot of negative space or positive space than screen printing. So when we're printing the conditions that we're in, we're outside. So these are not conditions that are like the print shop. So you might get dirt or something into your print. And so just be prepared too that we'll do our best to get you a good print. And remember that when we're printing, you're going to be inking with the brayer, and sometimes it's better if you have kind of an even positive negative that's distributed throughout the entire print. That will also print better for you. And so I think those are the things that I just really wanted to tell you about, making sure that we got our text right. It's a reverse image. Another way to get an image to your linoleum would be a inkjet printer that you would then place on top of your linoleum, and then either with like a citrus solvent or acetate, and with a damp cloth, and just kind of dampen the back of the paper, and you can get your image that way. It's not very clear. Again, you might have to redo the image before you can carve it. Yeah. So, and also if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact Wayzgoose Kitsap. We are here for you, and we're looking forward to printing with you.